I'm not gonna lie, this title got me hooked. The Paris Olympics is everything wrong with society. This was sent in by the Discord. Join the Discord, link in the description, and then drop your videos and we'll check them out. But yeah, apparently it shows off what's wrong with society. I'm interested to see it. I've heard some crazy stories because I haven't been watching
Olympic Games will
it.
go down as one of the weirdest Olympics in history. It seems
Really?
like every
Weird?
single day there's another controversy after controversy. And when the games began with this sort of horrifying opening ceremony, everyone knew it was going to be weird. But on the other hand, it's really not that surprising at all, as it seems the Olympics is just a mirror reflecting the current state of the world that we live in today. It is
What
a
makes
parody
sense?
of modernity. But how did the pinnacle of sport, something that was once considered a testament of human spirit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of excellence, become as strange and corrupted as it is today, almost bringing more division to the world than unity? With memes after memes coming out about the Olympics, let's unpack it all and see what went so wrong from the beginning of the Paris Olympics. You see, the Olympics is always
Bro, I'm already terrified and we're only 45 seconds into the video. Nice.
This
This
reflected the state of
is
the
great
world. It
editing,
was
bro.
cancelled during World War One and Two because of the wars, and South
Yes.
Africa was even banned from participating in the Olympics between 1964 and 1988, all due to its apartheid
Segregation?
policies.
Oh boy.
However, the Olympics are meant to bring the world together, rather than enforce
Yeah,
any
that's
sort
the
of
point, right?
separation. This goes
Uh-huh.
back to the Olympic origins, where an Olympic truce was established in ancient Greece. What this has meant for the Olympics for hundreds of years is a halt in hostilities in the name of granting athletes safe passage and promoting world peace. Something which sounds great in theory, but not so simple in reality. You see, all the athletes attending the Olympic Games have to agree to Rule 50 guidelines about what they can
Rule
publicly
50
express,
guidelines.
especially when it comes to political and religious statements.
Oh
The
boy.
International Olympic Committee, otherwise known as the IOC, has a set of rules that restricts demonstrations or political, religious, and racial propaganda at Olympic sites. The purpose of this is to maintain the neutrality of the Games and ensure that the focus remains on the athletes' performances and international unity through sports. And it seems like it's the complete opposite of this.
So let me
And
hear
instead,
it.
it's a perfect parody of the current world we live in 2024, a period of escalating tensions globally, cultural divides, and deepening political issues. Even before the Olympics began, there were already protests regarding which countries could participate and which countries couldn't, along with which people were able to participate and which ones weren't. But the French government did their best to make sure it all
Why?
went down as planned, as they wanted to show Paris, the city of love, as the perfect place to visit. Which is why, as Paris accepted the 2024 Olympics, the French government accelerated the relocation of homeless individuals from the city to other regions.
France's government has
Wow.
ramped up its efforts to relocate homeless migrants out of Paris 1 year before it hosts the Olympics. At least 1,800 homeless people have been moved from the French capital to one of 10 temporary shelters across the
Bro,
country
that's
since
insane.
April.
They also cancelled emergency housing contracts to accommodate Olympic tourists, choosing to prioritize the country's aesthetic and commercial interests over the welfare of
This happens every time, though. This isn't just Olympics. This happens every time. Every time some big person coming from around the world coming somewhere else, yeah, they do this. There's been times where people had to clean up because a general was coming through, and a general is a high rank. Now imagine everybody that's even higher than a general coming somewhere. Yeah, of course. Absolute course, man.
vulnerable
It's insane,
populations,
but
almost
yeah,
as a
it's
metaphor for
true.
how social media is used, painting a picture of the beautiful parts of our lives and hiding everything bad from those around us. But even still, this is always normal for every Olympics Games in the recent years. But the truth started unraveling as soon as it began. In the French government's aim to make the Olympics the cheapest Olympics in history, many Olympians were confronted with a very strange situation. Cardboard box beds, no air conditioning, and small
Cardboard
rations
box
of food
beds.
were all that the Olympians were given. And if that
What?
wasn't bad enough, there was a significant safety issue as dozens of Olympians were robbed, attacked, and harassed.
Are we sure this ain't like some battle royale that's about to go down? What the heck?
Logan Martins, one of Australia's cycling Olympians,
Whoa.
shared a video of his van after it had been broken into.
So,
That's wild.
Van got broken into last night. Luckily my bikes weren't in there, although my bike bags were in there with some things in it. Crazy start to the trip.
Personal items, including his
It
wallet and
reflects the
backpack, were
tensions.
stolen, but thankfully not his bicycle, which could have
People
actually
are
meant he would
mad.
never be able to compete or would have to fork out a bunch of money to cover the costs. And with the added stress, it probably wouldn't have been great for his race. In other cases, a fellow Australian who was the coach of the national hockey team found various unauthorized transactions on his bank account following the theft of his bank card. A Japanese rugby sevens player reported the loss of a significant amount of cash and valuable jewelry. All of this led to many Olympians opting to find close hotels instead of staying in their provided for accommodation. organization, already a huge failure on the IOC's part.
That's
But while the
insane.
athletes were complaining about their experience and the
Fly
rampant
across the
crime that
world
was
and
surrounding
have to
them,
get your own
nobody is
hotel.
preparing for the visual crime of the opening ceremony. Now, no matter what angle you take on this, left or right, the outrageous 2024 Olympics opening was one of the weirdest, most dystopian, and arguably blasphemous ceremonies we've ever seen.
I keep hearing this. I still haven't seen it, but I feel like I have to. I feel like I got to make a
the main
reaction video to it or something, but it'll probably get copyrighted.
On the opening night included a rendition of the Last Supper painting by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, while the IOC and the choreographer of the opening ceremony made claims that it was really a rendition of the Feast of Dionysus, there are clear indicators to show
Feast of
this wasn't really the
Dionysus?
case. At the center of the table was Barbara Butch, wearing a halo-like sun image reminiscent of traditional depictions of Jesus Christ in Catholic art. She posted a story celebrating the new gay testament, only to delete it later as the controversy over the situation rose.
Bro,
now, no matter
yeah,
what you think,
okay,
this
that's
definitely
her,
seems at
that's-
least to be a mockery of the faith that 2.6 billion on Earth
At
follow,
least,
and
at
something
least,
that clearly
at
goes
least.
against the IOC's own expectations according
That's
to
the
Rule
important
50.
part.
But even
The
if you were to
rules.
agree
You're
with the
breaking the
objection
rules.
that it was just a representation of anything Christian, the IOC still used this moment for something most of the world doesn't agree with. People dancing promiscuously on the center stage in one of the most viewed live sporting events in history. An opening ceremony that has nothing to do with the Olympics, one where this random woman was in the center stage instead of somebody with the physique of an athlete. In fact, this entire thing had nothing to do with athletics and was deeply controversial for many people around the world. Already, people were turning off the TV, not watching this, just because of this opening ceremony. But then the IOC would take even more weird stances.
It
They
gets
would
worse,
force
doesn't it?
servers to duct tape crosses showing on their boards and prevented athletes from wearing hijabs, crosses, or anything that shows their religious beliefs. This marred with other failures such as calling South Korea by North Korea's formal name, littering the Sena.
It was at 3:30 this morning this water was tested again. The data showed risky levels of E. coli bacteria.
Oh, hell
Again.
no.
And it's no surprise the
no.
Seine is dirty.
Oh,
For a century,
no,
swimming
no,
was
no.
banned until the Olympics came here.
Centuries?
But plans to promote Paris have turned to embarrassment. The men's triathlon postponed hours before it was due to start here.
The Olympic flag was raised upside down at the opening show, along with
Oh,
a bunch
nice.
of horrific viewing experiences to those who
We're
paid
getting
nearly
complacent.
€2,000 to watch the ceremony live. It always seemed like a giant failure that spread across social media. It was only once the world roared back with outrage over the scenario that the IOC gave a half-hearted apology for did things seem to change. But little did people know what they had in store for the 2024 Olympics. What would happen if you dropped your vape from 40,000 feet in the air? Well, you might want to find out once
Let's
you
check
try
out this
Fume.
ad.
Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that fills the void ditching a bad habit can leave as you still have something to reach for. And yet Fume isn't a vape, it's not addictive, and you can use it anywhere you want.
So
it's
what
a
is it?
completely guilt-free alternative.
What's
And on top
inside of it?
all of that, it just looks awesome with its
How does it
high-quality
work?
weighted design. I mean, the wooded design of the Fume is beautiful
How does it
and
work?
well-balanced, making it really fun to fidget with.
But
Its
how does it
aesthetic
work?
appeal and ergonomic shape makes you feel really cool using it. And
Who
as Fume draws
cares?
flavor to your mouth, it tastes amazing.
Who
Personally, I love the
cares?
crisp mint
How
flavor.
does it
It feels
work?
natural and fresh in my mouth and is way more flavorful than I ever expected, leaving a great taste afterwards.
Ad. But enjoy your whatever the fuck.
Already been the most covered Olympics in history, as each athlete has shared their experiences on social media, and as viewers watch together and share their opinions.
Bro,
on every
that's the
moment of-
assassin. That's the assassin. I seen that guy
to
on
share their
the
experiences
on
on social
Facebook.
media, and as viewers
So many people were putting this guy in the memes, bro. He's the assassin.
watch together and share their opinions on every
100%,
moment of
bro.
every sport, it's had a lot of good, bad, and really ugly. Good in the sense that it's allowed athletes to make a personal connection like never before. Take the surfing in the 2024 Olympics. This is the only
Bro, that
sport
looks
that is
so
10,000
sick.
miles away from France,
That
taking
looks
place
so
on the French
sick.
Polynesian island, Tahiti. This has also meant that the
Oh,
sport doesn't
man.
have a live audience, but the athletes have had their opportunity to share their unique
They can do it
experience
on
with the
their
rest of the
IG.
world. From having their own cruise ship as their version of the Olympic Village, to an inside look as surfers prepare
Damn,
for the
they rich as
Olympics.
hell.
Ground coverage not provided by the IOC. Additionally, there was a life-changing moment as
What
one
in the
Brazilian
world?
surfer, Gabriel Medina, scored a near-perfect 9.90. The photographer capturing the moment went
Wow.
from 2,000 Instagram followers to 200,000 in just a couple of days. The
Wow.
memes surrounding moments of the Olympics have burst out in every way, but one man in particular has stolen the show. at the
assassin!
Olympics,
There he
receiving more than
goes.
5 minutes of fame. He became an internet sensation, a meme, and the parody you'd expect
Bro.
to gain popularity during the Olympics. Olympics. The silver medal Turkish shooter, Youssef, stood out from
got
all of his
hella memes
competitors,
for him.
who would usually wear special glasses used to focus on targets and cover their other eye from all vision. But this absolute legend just showed up, one hand in pocket, and took a moment to take his shot, and receiving a silver medal for doing so. Social media ate this up, and if you haven't seen the meme about Youssef, you're hiding under a rock. It's amazing how his fame spread in moments, and he became the most popular person on earth
Bro,
for just one day. But it also perfectly encapsulates our digital era. His moment of fame is a clear snapshot of how social media can amplify a single unique moment into a global phenomenon. Yet it wouldn't be surprising if almost everybody forgets about this moment in just a week. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Which is fine.
The
It is what
contemporary
it
world's
is.
attention span is just so short.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is what's
true.
so funny about these Olympic moments. Because as social media brings us closer to events and people we would never otherwise encounter, it also ushers us swiftly from one fascination to the next, often without a backward
That's also
glance.
true.
But this also comes with a very
And that's the crazy part, because then people don't really fall into something that they might really enjoy because they're too busy hopping from one thing to the next. Yeah, they can't really focus on it. Yeah, it's sad, but yeah, that's how the world is moving apparently.
disturbing side, as we'd see on August 1st. On August 1st, about a week into the Olympics, Algerian and Main Khalif would compete in a boxing match against Italy's
I heard
Angela
about this.
Carini in the
My
welterweight
friend told me
division.
about
The fight
this.
only lasted 46 seconds, as
She got hit
Angela would
one
take
time and then
two
she
deep
stopped.
blows to the face.
Oh, two?
Instead of completing
Okay.
the match, she chose to forfeit, crying this is unjust, and refusing to shake her opponent's hands. She instead fell to her knees crying as she realized her Olympic dreams had been shattered during her first fight. The media quickly picked this up, and it went completely viral, reporting
Bro, you
how
got
the
hit
Algerian
twice and then you
boxer had
quit.
previously been
That's
banned
crazy.
from competing in the World Championships because she failed testosterone and gender eligibility tests. Famous people like J.K. Rowling,
Let's hear
Elon
it.
Musk, and even
Let's hear
Logan
it.
Paul all
Let's
shared
hear
their
the
opinions over the
conversation.
situation.
I'd
Even
love to
Donald
hear it.
Trump came to the party using this as a political moment to say, I will keep
Of
men
course
out
he
of
did.
women's sports, posting a picture of the Algerian as they punch
of course
Angela
he
in the
did.
face. But the moment quickly spiraled. The whole situation was seen as a male-born boxer fighting against a biological female, obviously giving the Algerian a huge advantage from having so much testosterone and a general male physique, with people pointing to the fact that she was disqualified from the Women's World Championships in New Delhi for failing a gender eligibility test. However, this wasn't for the reason that most of the media seemed to point out. You see,
Let's hear
Algeria
the
is a country that
facts.
criminalizes
Let's hear
same-sex
the
sexual
facts.
activity between men and between women, and their laws prohibit the possibility to change legal gender. So the assumption that they would send somebody who was trans to the Olympics did seem kind of crazy to begin with. The truth came out that she actually had a disorder of sex development, a rare condition where a baby's reproductive organs don't develop the typical way before birth, leading to an ambiguous genital appearance. These conditions might not be apparent until puberty, but can lead to incorrect sex assignment at birth, especially where medical resources are scarce, meaning the Algerian was assigned as a woman at birth and grew up as such. But this wasn't the information that was shared rapidly, and instead even more outrage poured over the Olympics, something that would only happen in 2024. The echo chambers we confine ourselves to allowed the world to make a strong belief about something without really knowing the full context here, just sparking more
100%.
cultural divide that's already spreading across the
Yeah.
world today.
There's
And while
a
there
middle
might
ground
still
somewhere.
be reason to be upset over the situation, you can't really blame the boxers. And another lightweight woman boxer, Ling Ting, who has the exact same condition for competing in the Olympics. Rather, it seemed to be the IOC's failure once again to actually clarify
Yeah, they need
women's
to make
fair
the
fights in
rules.
the Olympic boxing.
They need to make
The International
rules.
Boxing
If they want to do
Association,
that,
which
they have to
previously
do
banned
it.
Khalif from competing in its competitions, took a stand after Angela Carini forfeited her Olympic match, and as a result, Angela will now receive $50,000. In a statement, the IBA president tore into the IOC's
50,000?
Thomas Bach, calling him evil for what
That's
he was
it?
doing to women's sports, as the
50,000?
IOC failed to give
the
proper
Olympics?
guidelines about the entire situation, and other reason that athletes like Lin Yuting and Khalif were able to join in on the sports in the first place. The reality is, this probably isn't about political beliefs, more so about fairness, and even more so
Yes.
that women athletes are in danger and could face some serious physical consequences as a result. So the IOC has addressed this officially, explaining that, quote, national
100%
boxing
true.
federations must reach a consensus around a new international federation in order for
Yes.
boxing to be included on the sports program of the Olympic Games in LA 28. But while there's been a lot of noise over these two contestants, a really another controversial contestant to join the 2024 Olympics was Steven van der Velde, a Dutch volleyball player and a convicted child arer. Back in
Whoa.
2014, Van der Wilde friended a 12-year-old girl on Facebook, flew from his hometown in the Netherlands to England, specifically to meet with the girl, gave her alcohol, and allegedly doing very bad things to her multiple times. He eventually got convicted of R-ing an individual under the age of 13 in 2016, and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. This happened just when his athletic career was taking off, and the judge who gave him his sentence went on record to say, quote, "Your hopes of representing your country as an Olympic athlete now lie as a shattered dream." And almost everybody believed this was the end of his career, as it should be. But just 13 months later, he was suddenly released from prison and still put on the Olympic team for the 2024 Olympics. That's
Because he has
the
skills.
IOC, knowing of this particular circumstance,
Because he
have
has
even given
skills.
Van der Wilde special privileges that other Olympians don't have.
They
He was
sure
given
did.
accommodation outside of the Olympic Village. He doesn't take any interviews or talk to the press during the Olympics.
He doesn't have to
and has
talk to
protection
anybody.
in case of any circumstances. Which is really crazy that after being convicted of such an awful crime, he's been protected
Crazy
more
how
than
that
any
works,
other
huh?
Olympian. All the while, it's easy to argue that allowing a criminal to compete contradicts the core values of the Olympics. And while the IOC has done what it can to bring a truce to its athletes, both Israel and Palestine
So there it is. There it is. The Olympics, unfortunately, lack morals. I'm going to say it that way because that way I don't get sued.
and joining the Olympic Games has caused even more tensions. It seems like the infamous Rule 50 isn't being followed. With the current war between Hamas and Israel, it's a political issue that has left the world divided. And so every time a Palestinian or Israeli has competed in the Olympics, it's been met with some sort of controversy. Leading up to the game, a French
That's
MP
also
said that
true.
Israeli athletes are not welcome at the Paris
That's also
Olympics.
true.
And the backlash to this was
Yeah.
huge. And then the Palestinian
That's-
Olympic chief made a
it's
point
tough.
that he and the team would not shake any Israelis' hands during the Olympics, despite the agreed upon truce that comes with competing in the Olympics.
Yeah,
This has come
there
with
has to be a
multiple
truce.
protests to Israelis entering the country and competing, which is why the French police are now having to take extra precautions around Israeli athletes. And then others claim that Palestine should never have been allowed in the first place either, with division spreading all across social media about the situation.
Yeah, everybody is absolutely divided. 100%. They forget, like, because they're so wrapped up emotionally into whatever it is. And I can understand it. Emotions are powerful, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, one side this, one side that. To be real with you guys, you guys would have to legitimately accept the fact that, hey, if we're going to listen to the rules, which is the Olympics is supposed to be a place to try and unify people, right? That's the point of the Olympics originally, right? So people could unify and promote what? World peace. So everybody's going against each other, even though we all have our issues. Back home, when all of us come here, there should be none of that. But emotions are high. Some people can't control their emotions, which is absolutely sad. But it's tough. It's not easy to control emotions. Right? So, if whoever you are, if you're trying to control your emotions and you're trying to master that, I give you full props, 100%, full stop, because it's not easy. And a lot of people forget to do something like this. Breathe. Breathe, brother. It'll be okay. Breathe. Relax. We're supposed to come here to try and unify. That means if you're going to unify, somebody's going to have to say sorry. Maybe both people should say sorry. Because whenever you say whenever you say sorry and someone accepts it, that means they're agreeing to move forward with you. As long as these two people are honest when they say, hey, I'm sorry for this and I'm sorry for that, then there can be peace. Until they both say sorry, there will not be peace. And that's a damn shame, but that's how the world works. Oh well, let's keep going.
All of this is why the 2024 Paris Olympics is really much more than just a series of athletic contests. It has become a profound reflection of the world's current state, which makes idiocracy feel like less and less of a distant future and more just our coming reality, which is why there is no doubt the Olympics will come to be known as the parody of 2024. Thanks to Fume for sponsoring this video.
The sad part is I think it's way deeper than that, man. It's way deeper than that. But if you guys want to talk about it, link in the description, join the Discord, and we can talk about it. Also, thank you again to the Discord because this was actually submitted by, let me scroll up so I can see who submitted this. Who submitted this? Karuto, appreciate you, brother. Karuto be sending in videos like this, and we got A couple people be sending in some awesome videos. Apparently, we got some Markiplier or something we're going to check out. I haven't seen Markiplier in a decade, so it'll be interesting to see him again. But yeah, that's everything, man. Yeah, the Olympics were absolutely, at least from what I've seen, this it's a great divide, and of course, the world is going to shit, man. But there's always tomorrow to try and make it better. To be honest, that's all I got. All right, it's your boy KhunShawn. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.